Hello, this is Kayla. Welcome to Around the World Virtual Travel Group. I'm very much excited to share with you the first video that we're going to be doing, the first cook along. I'm going to be sharing the recipe. We're going to be making two dishes from the country of Liberia, the West African country of Liberia, the Atlantic coast to the east, and then you have Liberia to the west. So it's right along the Atlantic coast in West Africa. And so the first recipe is what I'm going to show you right now. We're going to make two recipes. We're going to make Liberian banana rice bread and as our bread. And then we're going to make our main dish, and that is going to be jollof rice. So right now I'm going to show you the recipe for the Liberian banana rice bread. And in the next video, I'm going to show you the recipe for jollof rice. So, and following that, we'll do the cook along, which will be fun. I think I'll probably do both recipes at once. So while the bread is cooking, I will start preparing the jollof rice. I'm so excited. I like banana bread, and I think that this is going to be really delicious. And so let me just show you the recipe real quick, what I got. What you're going to need for the Liberian banana rice bread. And I'm just getting the recipe out here. Liberian banana rice bread recipe. On food.com is what it is here. But banana rice bread Liberia. Now you can use either bananas or plantains, and you want to use ripe bananas or plantains. So the first ingredient that you are going to need is going to be 1.5 cups of rice flour or 1.5 cups of cream of rice. So this is going to be my flour, but this is cream of rice, and so this is going to be like the main ingredient here, besides the bananas, is this cream of rice. So I've never cooked with cream of rice before, so this is pretty exciting. And so we'll use 1.5 cups of the cream of rice, and then we're going to use 1/4 cup of sugar here. So I've got my Splenda here. And it makes sense that it's about 1/4 cup of sugar. One thing I forgot to pick up at the store, and I'm going to go get that, is the currants or the raisins. But after you get the 1/4 cup of sugar, you're also going to need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So you're going to need salt. And then after you do that, you're going to put in the raisins or the currants. So that sounds like really yummy and delicious. Sounds almost like a dessert to me. Not a whole lot of sugar. It's about 1/4 cup. However, you put the bananas or the plantains in and the raisins, and that makes for a nice sweet treat. And then 2 eggs, which I have in my fridge. 3/4 cup of milk I also have in the fridge. 2 ripe bananas mashed, which is what I have over here. Or you can use ripe plantains. And 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, which I have right here. So the only thing I need to get when I'm at the store is going to be the currants or the raisins. And this is the recipe we're going to use for our first cook-along. We're going to do 2 cook-alongs, but like I said, maybe I'll put them together into one and kind of just do everything at once. But maybe I'll do them separately. I'm still trying to figure that out. So it takes about 10 days to ripen a plantain. A little less to ripen bananas, and these are just getting ripe, so probably in the next day or so they're going to be ready for me to just mash up really easily and put into the rice bread. So I'm very much excited. Then you're going to heat the oven to 325 degrees. Grease a 9-inch loaf or cake pan. Mix the rice, flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, and raisins in a large bowl. And then whisk together the eggs, the milk, the mashed bananas, and oil in a separate bowl. So you need 2 bowls for this. Add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, mixing the batter thoroughly. Pour the batter into the prepared pan. Bake for 50 minutes or until a knife inserted in the center comes out clean, and cool in the pan for 5 minutes before turning out on a rack to finish cooling. So I'll most likely be doing both the recipes at once, preparing the banana rice bread, and then after that, while it's in the oven, I mean, it needs to be in the oven for about 50 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, I'm also going to make the jollof rice. So here's the K, and this might look upside down to you. Let's see here, just because it's the opposite way on the video. But there's the K, and that's for what did I already know about Liberia before going to Liberia, virtually or online? Well, I did not know much at all about Liberia, but I did know that it was in Africa, West Africa, and I also knew that it was a place where freed slaves, former freed slaves, were brought from America to gain their freedom and go back to Africa. And that is the only thing that I knew about the country. And then when we go around the world, when we start a new country, we do one country every 2 months. Sometimes I'll put a video of an airplane landing in that country to kind of give you that simulated feel of landing in the country. So I noticed it looked kind of wet and that there were some palm trees when I looked at that. So I thought it was kind of like a tropical environment. So that's basically all that I knew about Liberia. And as I learned and as I looked through various resources online and in a book, I learned a lot more about Liberia. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the jollof rice. And the recipe, which you'll need for that. Following that, we will, actually during that second video, when we do the jollof rice, I'll also talk about what we wanted to learn before we went to Liberia. What I wanted to learn before I went to this country. And so we brainstormed a list of things that we wanted to learn about Liberia. And then afterwards, we're going to cook the meal, and I think that's basically just going to be focused on cooking the meal. I'm really excited about the meal. I think that there's a lot of good vegetables, a lot of good nutrients in the jollof rice that we're going to cook. A lot of protein. You got your chicken, you got shrimp. I'm going to put both in. Just a pound of it, but chicken and shrimp, and then at the end when you're done making the rice and putting, like the green pepper and the shredded cabbage and all that in, kind of at the end they kind of put a hard-boiled egg on top. So that's a lot of protein there, and it's also a lot of vegetables. I also have fresh green beans for this jollof rice recipe, so it's going to be very, very good. I can't wait to try it. I'm going to try to make the spice go down, but they do use a lot of spices in Liberia, and it's very spicy food. But I'm so excited. So in the next video, I'm going to share the recipe for the jollof rice. And so let me just really quickly, before we go off to that rice, let's look at this here. This comes from food.com, banana rice bread from Liberia. The recipe is by Engrossed. Food.com. And it was published in 2022. It looks like all rights reserved. So that's the copyright there, 2022. Banana rice bread, Liberia. And that's basically all the information that it gives you. It says US units on it. Curious to know if you can kind of change that around. I don't think you can. So if you're from another country, you might want to look how to change the units to what you're used to cooking with. So I'm so excited. All right, so that's it for today. I'm so excited. When we're done doing the cook along, so first I'm going to give you the recipe for the jollof rice. When we are ready to do the cook along, when we're done with the cook along, I'm going to eat the food, I'm going to try it, and I encourage you guys to cook along with me. Get these ingredients together. Go to food.com and find the banana rice bread from Liberia, um, and um, and the jollof rice recipe, which I'll share next time. And then make the food with me. So let's do a cook along. And then eat the food with me, and I'll talk about 5 key facts or 5 things that we've learned about Liberia since going there. So perhaps maybe about the flag, maybe a few places that you can visit when you go to Liberia, if you choose to go to Liberia, um, and just some other neat facts about the climate, and just about the the country of Liberia, even the flag with its 11 stripes, and blue and white stars, so similar to the United States flag, but just a little different, with 1 star. So I'm excited, and we will talk more in the next video. Get these ingredients together, get your bananas ripened, and if you click subscribe, click on the notification bell, you'll be able to see when I put the jollof rice recipe together. When I show you what that is, you'll be able to see the next video. And then we'll do the cook along, then we will eat and talk about what we have learned. Alright, have a great night. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.